Welcome in, guys. No TJ, just for this week. I'm in Lake Tahoe for the week, visiting my best friend to celebrate my birthday. So I am doing them on Pacific time just this week. Hi, Skrilla. Thanks, Lonnie. Yeah, I've worked really hard on this for a long time now, so I feel like, it's something I am committed to. And my friends from Kansas actually just arrived about 5 minutes ago. And I had to say, hi, I love you, oh my God. And I haven't seen them in like 7 years. And I just gave them big hugs and then went and did my life. But I'm going to spend the next like 4 days with them. So, but it's also, it's like, it's 10 o'clock at night here too. So we're all unwinding as well. So. Thank you, Kimmy. Hi, James. Yes, Jasmine, I'm just going to be going on later this week because I'm in Lake Tahoe for the week. Porch baby update. Oh my God, yay. And I didn't get to see the moon for some reason. We went to a whole dinner planned around seeing the moon, and I guess the clouds obscured it or something because we didn't get a chance to see it. But there was also a fire here today. Luckily, they were able to put it out, but it was actually extremely close to Taylor's house, and it just randomly like started today, and it was a little alarming. So. Beefy, really? Oh my God, I love Jade. Jade said she wanted to drive to Tahoe. I was like, Jade, that is so far from Portland. Like, so far. Hi, Golden. Hi. Yes, thank you. This was the first day, and 2 weeks early. Oh, Liv, that's so exciting. Yeah, today was my first day, and we just had honestly the most wonderful, thoughtful, amazing day. Like, I am so lucky and grateful for the friends I have. I haven't seen Taylor in like 7 years, and she's still like just the best friend anybody could ever ask for. And she had all this stuff planned to like, and I'm like not a very good planner, and I get anxiety about like, so she handled it so well. Like, oh, thank you, sunshine. She's had everything planned, but then she made it flexible. So we're like, I didn't feel rushed. And then she just like would like, we just like wouldn't go to those things, and she'd just like skip that thing. And so she just had all this stuff planned. She's just an amazing friend, and I had like the best day, and everything she picked was so like curated to exactly things I would like, that it literally was one of the most lovely things anybody's ever done for me. And it was just the first day. So I have no idea what she has planned for the rest of the week, but I'll tell you what, my friends have always set the bar so high that like the men who have been in my life, like, good luck. Because my friends, I am just so grateful. They treat me like a queen, and it is just, especially when you get to, women our age and stuff, it's just lovely. There's no ego with us, and it's just pure love. And it's wonderful to have like female friendships like that They're just really special. Oh, thank you, Dave. Hi, Joanne. Anyway, feel free to write your story requests in all capital letters in the chat, and I will write them down, and then we'll vote. Cody, almost, but I didn't, but almost. Justin. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Miss Mystic. Again, Sunshine, thank you for the beautiful whale. I love that one. Hi, Jade. Aw, Jade, I love you too. They said that you wanted to drive today. Yeah, he said that you wanted, like, Jade, that's so far. That's weird. I wonder why it wasn't showing your comments. Hi, Maleficent. Hi, Lila. Ceiling fan. Where? What do you mean? Hi, Cujo. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Matt. Yes, of course, Dave. Thank you for the follow, Donna. Welcome to the porch. Nope, you didn't miss him. I'm starting right now, Bert. Welcome. I'm writing down your story requests. And if you guys, oh, hi, Kim. Oh, I love you. Good night, Kim. Love you so much. Miss you. Thank you, other Katie. Thank you, Cats and Coffee. Sweet dreams, Kim. Love ya. Also, while I'm writing down your story requests, if you guys could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. There's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts the live into your friends' FYPs. I didn't get to see it, Katie. It was cloudy where I am. And if you could share it out in your stories, share it with your friends, and tap, I would greatly appreciate that. I'll be right back with the first poll for us to vote. Happy Thursday. Tomorrow's your birthday, Lily. Happy birthday. Thank you, Dave. Those are such kind words. Oh my gosh, Liv. Thanks, Cody. Thank you for the follow, Zach. Welcome to the porch. Hi, Mason. Yes, Katie, Colorado does too. Oh, hi, Sandy. Matt, it's the same time as last night. It's going to be the same time all week. Oh, thanks, Dave. You're the best. Oh, Matt, I didn't know. Hi, Penny. Welcome to the porch. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the first poll and I'll be right back so we can vote for the first story. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, check out the shooting stars, and welcome to the porch. Happy Thursday. Yes, Kate, time changed for the week because I am in Lake Tahoe. But I still wanted to show up for my porchies, so I figured I'll just do bedtime here instead. Because if I did the normal time, it would be like 7 o'clock here, and that's when we're out to dinner. So, yes, I'm in Tahoe. I just got here last night and I'm here for a whole week. That's so cool, Shelly. Thank you, Cujo. I appreciate it. I have a 65 week or 66 week streak on TikTok. So, might as well keep it going. Plus, by this time, we're all ready to go to bed anyway because Taylor has lots of things planned in the mornings, and I'm not usually like a morning person. So, we're all winding down by this time anyway. So it's good for, we're not really like out and about by 10 anyway. Plus, Taylor hung out with me the whole time I did it last night, and she had fun. She loved it. Yeah, Brooke, she's the best. She's the sweetest friend. We've been friends for, God, we've almost been, oh my God, we've been friends for almost 20 years, which is crazy. Yeah, I saw that fairy witch. I said, hey, I'm so glad. Yeah, she did. She totally loved you guys. Cody, you're funny. Well, you know what's funny is today, we went on a boat, like a cruise around Tahoe to all of the different inlets and coasts and the Emerald Cove and all the cool things. And they were like taking pictures. Like you can pose in front of a little sign and take like a little, life saver thing that says the name of the ship and pose in front of it. And we did it. And like a photographer takes your picture and stuff. And he like came over and he was like, he gave us extra pictures. And he came over and he's like, you look really familiar. What do you do? And Taylor's like, your mom probably loves me. And he's like, what? And she's like, I'm an actress. He's like, what? She's like, your mom probably, I do Hallmark stuff. And he's like, oh, no, that's not it. And she like never tells any of the other, she's always so like, oh, I'm just a Hallmark actress. I'm like, girl, no, you're not. But he was like, wait, you look familiar. She was just like, thanks, bye. Thanks for the pictures, later. But we were dressed like fools, complete clowns. And when she booked it, the listing said 50s. That's all it said. Just the word 50s. She got very excited because she knows that is one of my favorite eras of my past lives and that I have a major a nostalgic attachment to the 1940s and the 50s. And so she was like, oh my God, it's meant to be. Oh my God, it's meant to be. She's like, I can't believe it. I randomly picked this and it's the 1950s one. So then she's like so excited. So she tells me last week, like, we got to get 1950s outfits. We're going to do all this stuff. I'm like, okay. So we get there and I took pictures. I took videos. I'll have to try to share somewhere, but we get there and we get on a bus with all the other people that are going on the boat tour. And the bus is also a tour. So this guy's telling us all this cool stuff. And we are the last people to be picked up. So the bus is full. Okay. And the only seat left is the one with the giant hump wheel. You guys remember old school buses, the wheel seat. And Taylor is like tall as shit. She's like a little lanky, tall supermodel. So she scooches in and she's like, Now I see why nobody picked the seat. So she's got her knees to her face. We're riding in this bus. Yeah, the hump seat. She's got her knees to her face. We're riding in this bus. She's got a pink polka dotted dress on. I've got like, I look like the 1940s Barbie with the black and white striped swimsuit and cat glasses. Okay. So we are literally like, we get on this bus and every single person on this bus is in like normal ass vacation tourist clothes, like hiking clothes or like New Balances and like white t-shirts and fanny packs and we're literally, she was wearing a leather jacket. Okay, we fucking did it the fuck up. I was wearing pearls. Okay, and we get on this fucking bus. And we had to walk down the aisle of like the whole bus full of people because we had to go sit on the wheel. And it was literally like, it was hilarious. And I was like, Taylor, you said it was 50s. Well, and the captain of the ship, who was very handsome, I might add, like came up and introduced himself to us. Like, I think he was like, I need to find out who these crazy women are or something. He's like, hello, ladies. Love the fits. He was very hot. And I was like, thanks. And then I'm like, she told me it was 1950s. And the captain didn't even know. He was like, I wasn't aware of that, but I would have liked to know. I would have joined you guys. And we were like, yeah. So then we tell the guy who took our pictures and he's like, we don't do themes on this ship. We were like, okay. So then Taylor's like, the fuck you don't. And Taylor pulls out her phone and guess what? She has receipts and it shows her reservation and it literally says 50s. So the captain didn't know and neither did the fucking photographer. And we're like, somebody's promoting your shit as themed. And then the photographer goes, that makes sense because like a couple weeks ago people came in the 80s and then they came in and like they said they thought it was the 70s, but I didn't know. I'm like, yeah, so obviously you guys do themes and nobody else knows about it because we were the only two people. It was hilarious. It was the best. It was even funnier. Because we were the only. Oh my God, Jamie, that was like the cutest gift I've ever seen. Holy shit, it made me miss Merlin. Oh my God. He was like wallowing on that little chair. And yes, Skrilla, he was handsome, but he was married. Doesn't mean he wasn't handsome, Captain. Hi, she's a beast. And so yeah, it was very entertaining because we were definitely very weird looking. And then people kept coming up to us and being like, you guys look really cute. Cool outfits. like that's how thank you, Dave, for this one. Thank you for helping me with my gift gallery, Dave. So I feel like people definitely were like, hi, Paracord, thanks for the follow. R10, thanks for the follow. And so like it was very fun. It was just a great time. And then we go to this restaurant and the restaurant was like the sunset and we had I'll have to show videos. We had like a private little box. Like we had our own little table outside on a private patio. No one else was out there. We could slide the doors shut, a sliding door shut to the rest of the restaurant. It was very cool. And I felt very exclusive and birthday girly. It was really sweet. And it was the perfect sunset and it was really cute. Yeah. It was like the best. And the funny thing is like the employees, a couple of them kept coming out and getting pictures of the sunset because like it's the best spot. And we had it. It was so cute. So everything just perfect day. She just made me feel so special and loved. It was just like the best. All right. So I have the poll ready. Yeah, it was lovely. And I've never been to Tahoe and it's just really beautiful here. It's like the trees are so tall and so tall. They're not that tall on the East Coast. You know, they're so tall and pretty and cool and their energy is just so strong. I just love the way the trees feel here. Good night, Dave. Yeah, Cody. You thought it was his ex. All right, guys, here's the poll. We have the Yule Hunger, the Hitchhiker, the Names in the Logbook, the Last Summer Carnival, and the Water Babies. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box. You can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Who's it going to be? Right, Brooke? I didn't, Kimmy. I did not. Didn't hear about that. Thank you, Jesse. Happy full moon eclipse to you as well. We have 3 YT votes over here for last summer carnival. And thank you, Kimmy. I'm glad you like the stars. Hi, Maria. Hi, Methos. Thank you, Brooke. That's actually my favorite one. Sherry, I am so glad I could help your aunt sleep while she was in the hospital. I've actually had several people come in and say I helped them sleep, or we kept them company while they were in the hospital. And that means a lot because that's a really low time and you're not feeling, you know what I mean? So if I can do anything to help. And Cody, I highly doubt it. I don't think any of his exes would even have any clue who I am. So I don't think that theory holds water, but there are lots of crazy people who are trolls that just make multiple accounts because they're weirdos and they have no life. It's not the first one we've encountered that made multiple accounts like that. And that's kind of what trolls do, is like they come in to provoke and troll on purpose. And that's what she did. That's what she did. He was bringing up that girl the other night that had like 16 accounts and kept coming in saying shit. Thank you, Savage. I appreciate that. Right, Sherry? Yeah. Oh, Matt, I'm so glad. Oh, don't worry, Brooke. It was just a troll, some random person. Like she had like all these different accounts under fake names. It was weird. Hannah, that was her name. I forgot. Yeah, she was nuts. Oh my God, Lily, that is so cute. You guys, thank you for this sleepy kitty. I cannot deal with how cute it is. That's my new favorite gift. Sandy, thank you for the gaming otter. Yeah, we sure did, Teresa. We sure did. The Porch Pals don't put up with that shit. I know, right, Jimmy? Except for I don't, because that's pathetic. Are you feeling better, Brooke? Is your fever gone? I know, Matt. We love you. You've been through a lot. I'm glad you could be on the porch with us for all that. All right, you guys, the hitchhiker won. And this is my favorite story. So I will be right back. Hi, Deborah. I'll be right back with the hitchhiker. And if you guys could do me a big favor, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? There's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts the live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing to your stories and sharing with your friends helps too. And I'll be right back with the hitchhiker. And yes, Misbehavin', I am still in Nevada. Scott, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Hi, Lily. And that's right, mysterious girl. Full moon is for releasing, not for manifesting, especially not during an eclipse. Eclipse is chaos energy, and you do not want to manifest or wish or think about anything too much and try to make it happen, because eclipses are chaotic and it could go completely differently than you would want it to. So, full moon, especially during an eclipse, is a good time to release things. And yes, it's a blood moon, Tiffany. It's going really well, Maria. I had a wonderful first day. I'm so lucky to have a friend like Taylor. She's the best. Skrilla. Hi, Scarlett. Yeah, we just started, Shadow. And I think if it works out, Skrilla might be joining us later this week. Or later on in my trip. I think he might be making an appearance. But we'll see. We'll see if it works out. Because it's a very long drive. Brooke says, do we have a day when... Not a set day yet. A tentative. Brooke said I might have a fever. Well, I will say this, though. If Skrilla does go to town, I'm probably not going to be live that night. I'm going to leave it at that. But I'll probably go live during the day instead. Wait, about gondolas? What do you mean? Oh, because of Taylor. I didn't see it, Shadow. I haven't been to Virginia City yet. This is actually my first time here ever. So, and I just got here last night. So today was my first day. And yeah, I forgot Taylor was... Because we went to the, what's it called? Heavenly Village, where, whatever they call it, the ones that go up and down. And there's a lot of phallic things around Tahoe. And Taylor and I find that funny. And I know you guys probably find that surprising, because I say that I don't have a sophomoric sense of humor, but that's because not when you make absolutely nothing into that. That's not funny to me. That's just like grasping. But when there is like nature that looks like a dick, that's funny. That's funny as hell. So Taylor took me around and showed me like several phallic natural structures in Tahoe today, and it was hilarious. And so then we were on the tour, and she's like, because she knows me probably better than most people like do at all, because she also, people are so black and white, they don't understand, like, I do like that sense of humor, but like not, it has to actually be like with intellect. I don't know how to explain it. And so she gets me. So she was like, and that right there from the boat, she's like, that right there, see, that's the gondola that goes all the way down, and right there is where the dick fountain is that I showed you earlier. And I was like, oh. She's like, so just remember, like, now that we're on the lakeside, that's where the dick fountain was. I was like, oh, perfect. Oh, he's coming. No, he's coming in person. He's gonna come see me. Yeah, she did. She spit some facts today. She gave me like a little tour. All right, guys, I'll be right back with Hitchhiker. Good night, Cody. Wouldn't you like to know, Shadow? Along with all the other porch pals. Just a fair warning, there are some drunk Tahoe bros on the street right below the porch here. Because Skrilla, I'm on my computer. I'm not on my phone. I'm on my brand new MacBook, not my 2-year-old phone. No, we didn't, Shadow. You wish. Hi, Honest. Yes, Skrilla, she does. Well, no, she's not like really close to bars. I think these dudes are staying in an Airbnb. Like, we're not by bars or anything. Like, we're in a neighborhood. They're in like their backyard. They're on their back patio, like loud talking, as drunk friends would do that haven't seen each other in a while. I feel like they're maybe having a get together. She's near the golf course. She's really hear him. She's near the really bougie golf course, and it sounds like guys that are all having a like weekend at the Airbnb drunk without their kids or something. Like today, it was straight up like they were playing a game I've never seen before, because I guess I'm out of that tax bracket. I'm not in their tax bracket, and they were playing some like thing that guys probably learn at Ivy League schools. It was a game I've literally never seen on this like grassy knoll at the country club today, and I was like, what are they playing? And Taylor's like, I don't know. They play that all the time. I don't even know what it is. I was like, I don't know. I've never even seen that game. And I can't even tell you what the goal was. No, I know what croquet is, Justin. I'm 700 years old. You don't think I know what croquet is? I used to kill at croquet. I had a mallet made out of a narwhal tusk. I know what croquet is, okay? But these guys were playing something I've never seen. And I don't know. I've heard of Quidditch, but I don't know what it looks like. And I don't know what petanque is either. But it was definitely like, I felt like the guy, I don't know, I felt like they're like, great one, Chet. Brilliant job, Lucifer. Like, I don't know. That's great, Austin. Good job, Chad. Nailed it. No, not the Chet. Wait, what does that mean? Yeah, you got the reference, Beefy? Did you get the reference? I hope you got that's why I picked that name, for that exact reason. It's because they're definitely like those type. But yeah, it was definitely, but it was beautiful. We went and sat in chairs, because she belongs to the country club. So we went and sat in chairs and like hung out until the like bus picked us up. And it was really fun. Because Taylor's an amazing golfer. She's actually a sponsored golfer. Fun fact. She is so good that she is sponsored by golf companies and golf apparel brands. And she's does golf tournaments every single year for charity. And she's amazing. So that's the only reason she belongs to the country club, is because she actually golfs and she's a beast. She's like really good at it. Wait, JT, you're cry laughing. I love that. And guess what? I know this because I was around them a lot. I was around them a lot. I was always a party girl, so I'm very familiar. Plus, they're the ones that taught me how to play Halo. That's how I know. And they love to play games that, like, I guess I've never seen before. But like, I've seen most of them. I can't believe it was a game I've never seen. Superfan box. Yeah, Taylor taught me how to golf. Well, better than I had an ex that golfed too, but she taught me how. Who got it? Who got the box? And Skizix, thanks for sending it. Thanks for sending it. Matt's a fratty too. He said, I plead the fifth. The frat I used to hang out with were God, what were they called? SIG-Eps. The SIG-Eps and was there one that's like a try something? Oh, you got it? Good. Hold on one second. All right. Sigma Mu. Nu. Okay, cool. Yeah, I used to hang out with, I wasn't in a sorority, but I used to hang out with all of them. But again, when I say douche, we were all douches when we were 20. I used to call myself a douchette. I was really bad. I was like, I don't even think I'd be friends with myself now. If you weren't a douche at one point, that means you haven't grown. And you might still be a douche. I'm just kidding. Yeah, these guys must be at the house next door because they are literally like camped outside talking. It's like so loud. Jezebel said, I'm a douche every day. Thank you, Mason. Oh my God, wouldn't that be so funny, Matt? If they were like listening. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the hitchhiker. Oh my God, scroll. And I love how you specified underarm deodorant. Interesting. I know, Anna, and that's what I said. It's funny that he specified. And yes, his real name is Benjamin. I'm glad you like it, Jezebel. I've always enjoyed the solitude of the back roads, the endless winding stretches, the whisper of wind through the trees, and the open spaces offer a calm I could never find in the city. This trip was meant to be a reset, a break from the daily grind, and the idea of driving alone for hours through quiet scenic routes was exactly what I needed. But I couldn't have anticipated what the road had in store for me this time. The drive had been serene so far, passing by fields and forests with no real destination in mind. Just an open map and a willingness to see where the day would take me. Poppy. I've never liked the pressure of having to get to a specific destination by a certain date or time. I enjoyed taking in everything the American road trip has to offer. Taking exits when I see one of those brown signs for some random historical marker. You know the ones. They are my favorite. I have learned so much about this vast country of ours, just by slowing down a little bit and paying better attention to my surroundings instead of my phone. You'd be amazed what you can experience when you make an effort to be more present. It's good for the soul, or at the very least, it might make for some good stories. The early part of the trip had been quiet. The only company I had was the occasional crow perched on a road sign or a hawk circling above. After a few hours, I found myself on an isolated stretch of highway, winding through dense trees that seemed to lean closer as they were closing in on me. And that's when I saw him. A figure, standing alone by an old beaten-up sign that had decades of sun fading. The young man wore dark, simple clothes, a flannel shirt over jeans, and carried a small worn duffel bag slung over one shoulder. He had a calm, almost expectant look, as though he'd been waiting for someone or something. Against my better judgment, I slowed down, my eyes fixed on him through the windshield. There was just something in his expression, a mixture of hope and resignation that compelled me to pull over. I still can't explain why in the world I let this random man get into the passenger seat of my car, because I know that's crazy. And I've never picked up a hitchhiker before in my life. But all I can say is this. I am someone who can feel other people's energy very well. And this man emulated light. His energy was so bright and warm. And I felt he truly needed my help. Or at the very least, we were meant to cross paths. I could feel it. As he got into the car, I noticed he carried himself with an air of quiet calm. He settled into the passenger seat without a word, merely offering a polite nod, and we resumed our drive in silence. He gazed out the window with a detached expression, his eyes fixed on the passing trees, as though he was seeing something that I couldn't. As we drove, he began to share tales about the places we passed. Almost as though he was narrating them for himself and not for me. His stories were filled with oddly specific details, recounting local legends and histories of old mining towns and forgotten back roads. And those of you who know me know that this legit sounds like me on road trips. I have always been a huge fan of history, and I have lots of random legends and lore in the archives of my brain, hence me starting Porch Lore. So he mentioned ghost towns that had been left behind after disasters, and towns that people abandoned suddenly where they left everything behind. As I listened, an unsettling feeling began to creep in. His story seemed so detailed, so intimate, and the sense of familiarity that had comforted me at first now felt like something darker. Like these memories weren't merely heard secondhand, but instead they were experiences he lived through himself. A chill crawled up my spine as he recounted a particularly eerie tale of a bridge up ahead. He described it in an unsettling level of detail, telling of a man who had been seen wandering the roads for years. After his car skidded off the bridge one rainy night, the man had never been found, but local rumors claimed he could still be seen, waiting for a ride that would take him somewhere he could never seem to reach. The weight of his words lingered, pressing down on the air in the car, thickening the silence between us. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Winter. I shifted uneasily in my seat, telling myself it was just a story. But the odd familiarity in his voice made me question that. The road wound on, dusk settling in around us. And I noticed he hadn't asked for any breaks or even taken a drink of water. There was an unnatural stillness to him, like he belonged more to the mist creeping over the road than to the seat beside me. Hi, Marcus. The longer we drove, the more the atmosphere in the car shifted, taking on an oppressive quality that made me want to stop and let him out. But I kept driving, almost like I was compelled by some unseen force to keep going. When we reached the bridge, just as the last of the light faded, the old iron structure loomed out of the mist. It rusted, beams casting long shadows. And as we crossed the bridge, he sat forward slightly, and the bridge groaned under the car's weight, the iron creaking and straining. And I felt a cold sweat bead on my forehead. There was a strange finality to it, as though something was about to end or perhaps to begin. We reached the other side of the bridge, and he turned, gazing out at the fog settling over the road. He stared into my eyes, smiled, and said, "Thank you for having an open heart." And then he reached down, lifting his duffel bag, and looked toward a faded roadside marker barely visible in the twilight. And a sense of relief washed over me as he reached for the door handle and stepped out of the car. His movements were measured and deliberate. As he stood by the side of the road, he smiled at me one last time and waved as a low fog drifted across the road, obscuring him from view for a brief moment. When the mist cleared, he was gone. Skrilla, you're not wrong. And he's lying. He is so talented at everything. When the mist cleared, he was gone. I blinked, unsure if he'd stepped into the fog or if it had simply swallowed him whole. The hair on the back of my neck stood up and I found myself gripping the wheel, I sat there for a while, staring into the fog over the open road, waiting for something, though I wasn't sure what. Eventually I drove off, but I couldn't shake the feeling of his presence lingering, like a shadow cast across the passenger seat. The quiet inside the car felt different now, heavier somehow. I actually kind of missed his company. Days later, when I mentioned the hitchhiker to a local clerk in the next town, he gave me an odd look. He recounted an old story about a young man who had disappeared on that same road many years ago. A traveler who had vanished without a trace, last seen hitchhiking near the bridge on a cold autumn night. Locals said that he was still trying to get home, that some people swore they'd seen him over the years. His face blank, his bag slung over his shoulder, as he waited for a ride that would take him to where he was going, which was just the other side of the bridge. I still don't know if he was real, or maybe I toked a little bit too much that night while cruising. But sometimes on those quiet back roads, I catch myself glancing at the passenger seat, half expecting to see him sitting there, waiting silently for the journey to begin again. And to be honest, he wasn't bad company. If I ever see him again, I will absolutely stop and pick him up. He can ride shotgun anytime. And that's the tale of the hitchhiker. Yes, I saw it, Fairy Witch. You don't have to repeat it. I saw it. I was just reading my story. There's about 1 million woman ghost hitchhiker legends in the world, so I'm not sure which one you're talking about. That's okay, cutie. That's okay. You're so cute. And thank you, Shadow. I appreciate it. No need to apologize. Fairy Witch? Oh, I know. Everybody hitchhiked back then because you could trust people more. Not completely, but much more. Thank you so much, Katie. I love Are You Afraid of the Dark there. They made me the spooky gal I am today. Matt making it rain. Matt making it rain. Thanks, Matt. And Michelle, thank you so much for the manifesting crystal ball. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. My name's Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. this week, Pacific Standard Time, but usually Eastern Standard Time. And I do write and record all these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And if you guys could do me a big favor, could you just hit that share arrow? In the bottom right hand corner, there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts the live into your friends' FYPs and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. And I'll be right back with the next poll. Happy Thursday. I don't find zombies scary at all because I know the history behind them, and same reason I'm not a big vampire fan. I don't dislike them. They're just not my favorite thing. Good night, Matt. Sweet dreams. No, they're because of, there's a whole history of during the plagues. They would bury people that were not dead because they had no medical way to. That's where the term dead ringer came from, because once people started literally crawling out of their graves, digging themselves out of the earth, sick as hell, throwing up puke and blood, and God knows, because they were still deathly ill, they just weren't dead yet. That is where zombies came from. And then they started tying bells to their fingers when they buried them. Because guess what? If they were alive, someone would sit outside the grave in a chair all night the first night they were buried. Because if the bell rang, they'd dig them up really quickly because they weren't even dead. So that is where zombies actually came from, is people's lack of medical knowledge, just like vampires. Hysteria and lack of scientific knowledge. So I just don't find those as fascinating as cryptids and things that could actually be unexplained. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just kind of dumb ass humans, and I don't find that as fascinating as Mothman. Do you know what I mean? What the fuck is he? I know humans in hysteria who are ignorant are horrifying. So Luna, one of my stories that I just released a couple weeks ago tells the history of where vampires came from. And it's from another, you know what? I'm going to put the story on the poll. And if you guys want to hear it, it's called The Last American Vampire. And it explains it. And it's fascinating and creepy as shit. And that's why I like folklore, because a lot of it ties in with history. And these stories came from a time when, people didn't know what we know now and stuff like that. And I just think it's really interesting. Okay, you guys, the next poll is ready. And I did put that story on the poll. Yeah, Stephanie, just for this week, because I'm in Lake Tahoe visiting my best friend. So I'm going to be on Pacific Coast time. All right, guys, we have The Last American Vampire, which is that story. We have Names in the Logbook. We have The Goat Man. We have The Last Summer Carnival. And we have The Water Babies. You can vote in the top left-hand corner in the blue box. You can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Thank you, Sherry. Oh, is it Stephanie? Thank you for the follow, Reanimator. Yes, Sherry's correct. Like, if you guys want to hear something horrifying, look up Rye Bread and the Salem Witch Trials. Yeah. Hi, Heart. Okay, so yeah, well, Khaki Boy, since it just ended, the poll, yeah, I will. The poll literally just ended. Why don't you get some fucking patience? Okay, so in rye bread, there is an ingredient called, basically, it's not, okay, so it's called ergot. Have you guys heard of that before? It's when rye, it's like when the rye bread goes bad or is not made correctly. Have you guys heard that before? Yep, it's like a fungus. It's ERGOT, ergot. And if you guys look it up, just look up rye bread in the link to Salem Witch Trials. It's again, it make you hallucinate. It makes you have convulsions. It's poisoning. So similar to phenomenon that they blamed things on magic and it was lead poisoning. Remember those times? Or the million other ways that they've blamed witches for things that were literally things they didn't know about medical science yet. That's just another example of, yes, Luna. Yep. And my great-great-grandmother was one of them. And yeah. So, well, now, Justin, we know how to make rye bread and store it properly. But back then they didn't realize that that could happen. And they didn't have proper refrigeration, or anything like that. That's why rye bread needs to be refrigerated. It's one of the few breads that should be, Yeah, exactly, Skrilla, like the way with mercury. There's a lot of ways that science, we just didn't know yet. But, and they always blame women. They always blame women for all the science things we don't know for some reason. But this story that just won, you will hear how they blamed women once again. So sit back and relax. This is the tale of the last American vampire. And it is how basically we got vampires. This is just the American example, but this is the same thing that happened all over the world much earlier than it happened in America, which is where the vampire lore came from. I believe it started in Italy when they encountered this same plague about 200 years before America did. So I'll be right back. Justin, that's like the best compliment you could ever give me. And you know what? Skrilla Lake Titicaca is like where I dream of going. You know how many amazing archaeological sites are around that lake? It's in Bolivia. Thank you to whoever sent the treasure chest. You're amazing. Who sent that? Who sent that? Oh, thank you so much, Sherry. I love history and I love anthropology, and I feel like folklore is basically anthropology, and I feel like it's just, yes, you're exactly right, Andrew. It is a ritual lake, and I've always wanted to go there. It is, yeah, it's on my bucket list for sure. It's probably one of the top places. I want to go to Puma Punku so badly. Like, oh my God. But I also am dying to go to Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. Yes, Chad, for sure. That's very cool. Spooky cabins. That's a beautiful place too. Me too, So Luna. Me too. If you like Turkey, Luna, you should go on the Flix streaming app. I can't say the name, but the one that's on the net, and it's the Flix. There's a show there that's dubbed in English, but it's a Turkish show, and it's called The Gift. And holy shit, it's like one of the best shows I've ever watched. It's like all about like mystical archaeology. It's amazing. Wait, what about a honeymoon? Thank you, Sherry. You're the best. Good morning, Hench. Yes, Scarlett, you're correct. I want to be just like her. Yes, if you guys could please repost, that would be great. Just pulling up the music for the story. Thank you guys for the clovers. Thank you, Boss Richard. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the last American vampire. Good night, Fairy Witch. Thank you. Sweet dreams, cutie. Gather around the fire, pull your blankets tight, and listen closely. Tonight's tale carries a chill from a time not so long ago. A time when the shadows at the edge of the woods held unexplained terrors that turned uneducated people towards cruelty and hysteria. Thank you, Luna. Before we had antibiotics, before we understood the invisible, microscopic world of bacteria, humanity was at the constant mercy of sudden, inexplicable death. And when uneducated people are terrified, when they watch the ones they love wither away before their very eyes, sadly, they don't tend to look to science for answers. They tend to look to evil forces or conspiracies. Anything to make sense of something they just don't understand. And that is exactly what happened in New England in the late 1800s. This is the true story of Mercy Brown, the last American vampire. Picture the winter of 1892 in Exeter, Rhode Island. It's a harsh, unforgiving landscape. Frost coats the bare branches, and the earth is frozen solid. Here we meet a young woman named Mercy Brown. She was only 19 years old, and by all accounts, a gentle, bright-eyed girl at the beginning of her life. She was the kind of person whose laughter brought warmth to a cold New England farmhouse. But a shadow had fallen over the Brown family. A relentless, invisible stalker called consumption. Today, We know it as tuberculosis. But back then, they didn't know about airborne pathogens. All they knew was the horrifying reality of what the disease did to their loved ones. It earned the name consumption because it literally seemed to consume the afflicted people from the inside out. Sufferers grew deathly pale. Their eyes became sunken and hollow, and they would cough up blood, bright red blood. And to horrified onlookers in the 19th century, this didn't look like a sickness. It looked as though the life force was being slowly drained by an unseen predator. Yep, that's exactly right, Sherry. Yep, that's the moral of the story. The tragedy began years earlier. Mercy's mother, Mary, was the first to waste away and die. And then, Mercy's older sister, Mary Olive, followed her to the grave. By 1891, the shadow fell on Mercy's brother, Edwin, a strong, strapping young man who began to suddenly wither away. And then the shadow turned to young Mercy. But the disease took her swiftly. While Edwin lingered, fighting for every breath, Mercy faded fast. And in January of 1892, the bright light of Mercy Brown was extinguished. And because the ground was too frozen to dig a proper grave, her coffin was placed in an above-ground crypt, waiting for the spring thaw. But Edwin was still dying. And as his condition worsened, a chilling whisper began to spread through the small, desperate town of Exeter. The neighbors looked at the grieving father, George Brown, and planted a terrifying seed of doubt. Why was George's family dying? They whispered. It's the old curse. One of the dead is feeding on the living. One of them is a vampire. They believed that the first to die in the family could refuse to rest, returning from the grave in spirit form to drain the vitality from the surviving relatives. It was a desperate folk belief born of sheer panic and a lack of knowledge. When science can't explain why a family is being wiped out, weaker human minds will invent monsters to try to make sense of something unexplained. And desperate to save his only son, George Brown finally gave in. And on a biting, freezing morning in March of 1892, a group of townspeople accompanied by a local doctor marched into the cemetery. They opened the graves of the mother and the oldest sister first, but there was nothing there but bone and dust. And then they pried open the crypt, holding 19-year-old Mercy. Gasps echoed through the freezing air. Mercy did not look like a decaying corpse. Her body had slightly shifted in the coffin and her skin was still relatively flesh. And when the doctor, trembling, cut into her chest, he found liquid blood in her heart. A vampire, the townspeople declared. What they didn't understand, what the terrified minds of the 19th century couldn't comprehend, was the natural science that follows death. Mercy had been dead for barely 2 months, stored in an above-ground crypt during the freezing New England winter. The cold had acted as an icebox, perfectly preserving her remains. And the shifting of her body was merely the natural process of decomposition and bloating. But a lack of knowledge mixed with fear is a powerful blinding force. And right there in that cemetery, they removed Mercy's heart and liver. They placed her organs on a nearby rock and they set them ablaze. The smoke drifting into the winter sky, carrying the remains of the innocent girl. Then they scooped up the ashes, mixed them with water, and then fed the vile concoction to young Edwin. A gruesome and desperate magic potion meant to cure him. And no surprise, it didn't work, and Edwin died 2 months later. The story of Mercy Brown is a haunting campfire tale, but the true monster wasn't a fanged creature of the night. The monster was a lack of knowledge and fear. The tragedy of the New England vampire panic is a profound reflection of how our ancestors struggled. Faced with the devastating mysteries of nature, disease, and death, they sought to regain control through grim rituals, turning their own tragic dead into scapegoats. So let this story be a reminder. When we are faced with the unknown, when fear threatens to consume us, we must strive to hold on to reason. We must remember to shine the light of compassion into the dark, rather than creating monsters out of shadows. For the greatest tragedies occur not when the dead rise, but when the living let their fear guide them. And that's the tale of Mercy Brown, the last American vampire. Anna, yes, I believe so. I believe those same beliefs. Yes. Yeah, thanks for asking questions, Luna. I love when people are curious about this stuff, because a lot of, and it actually makes sense if you think about how much we've advanced. Oh, Erica, yes, they're all on YT. If you think about how much we've advanced in technology and medical knowledge, even in the last 200 years, it really makes sense that, like, if you think back to like the last 500 years, the things that have become, like, said that were demons or curses or witches or mystical this and that, a lot of that stuff has ended up becoming just stuff we explain with science. So it makes sense that, like, a lot of these stories that even we grew up with are traced back to just a lack of knowledge, because that was only like 200 years ago, dude. Thank you, thank you, Marley. So yeah, I find it just so interesting. I know, right, David? Penicillin, I know. Isn't that just so, like, and that to me is such an odd thing. Like, why wouldn't, I don't know. Like, what about all the people who had to live before penicillin? Do you know what I mean? That's just really not, seems very cruel to me and sad. And yes, bed of dust. Malaria means mal area. Yep, bad air. Mal, like maleficent. Oh no, Justin, really? Yeah, really, Skrilla. For sure. Thank you for the follow, Michelle. Welcome to the porch. And yes, that is a sad one. That is a sad one. And what I find so interesting, I always like to point out at the end of that story is, notice how George Brown let all of the women in his family die before thinking it was some crazy curse, when his son got sick first and got Mercy sick. Okay? So he's the one that got them sick, and then it wasn't until his son was being threatened to die that he decided to blame someone and dig up all the other women that died in his family and blame them. Like, maybe after your wife died, and then your first daughter died, you could have done that weird shit and dug up them and digged. But then no, you didn't resort to that weird shit until your son was dying. And that says a lot. It says a lot. That he didn't really resort to, desperate measures till it was his son dying. And that's annoying. All 3 of the women in his family died. And then he's like, wait, oh God. All right, now we got to do something desperate. My son's dying. It's like, ugh. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the next poll. He ate the rye. Yeah. I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story, and I'll be right back. Happy Thursday. Yeah, exactly. Bed of dust. Yep. Yeah, well, it's funny that men think bloodline is their sons because, newsflash, the women are the ones that actually carry on the species and bear children. So that's still your bloodline. The only reason you guys think that is because the patriarchy said that women had to take men's last names. Otherwise, it would literally be the other way around. We would literally have more blood and DNA involved than men. They stick their dicks in and that's it. Women literally give all their genetic code and traumas and DNA to, and then birth the human being. So to me, that seems more like your bloodline. Your daughters would be versus your son who pokes someone. Do you know what I mean? But that's just me. Bingo, bed of dust. Bingo. Oh, hi, Patricia. Welcome to the porch. Sorry, YT. I forgot to loop the video. It should be moving again. My bad. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. This week it will be Pacific Standard Time. Usually it's Eastern Standard Time. Patricia, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. And I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote. Wait, what, Skrilla? What? Anyway, I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And I'll be right back. Welcome to the porch. Oh, sorry, Patricia. Hi. While I set up the next poll, if you guys could do me a big favor, could you guys hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? There's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost, and that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. That's okay, Patricia. Welcome to the porch. Oh no, Anna, I'm sorry. So cool, Sai said, I have a scary story. I said I do. Sounds like a you problem, dude. Not my chair, not my problem. Hi, Miranda. We're good. How are you? Ivy, thank you for the cozy cryptids and the popular. Thank you, Patricia, for the cute gifts. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have the Greenbrier Ghost, the Fairy Trees, Route 666, the Snallygaster, and the Haint of Huggin' Molly. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Bravo, I am in Lake Tahoe for the week, so I am going live at 10 p.m. Pacific for the week. We have Greenbrier Ghost, the Fairy Trees, Route 666, Snallygaster, and Huggin' Molly. Scroll. Patricia, it is 11:53 here. It's almost midnight here. Yes, Rachel, that's the Huggin' Molly. That's exactly her. She's from Alabama. She's from Abbeville in Henry County. But Patricia, I live on the East Coast. So usually, like it's almost 3 a.m. where I live. But I'm just visiting my best friend for the week. So I'm going, because I can always go live at 10. It's like my bed. It's like the time I'm able to actually consistently go live, because what am I doing at 10 o'clock at night at this point? Nothing. So, but like at 10 East Coast is 7 here. And my friend has all these cute things planned for me for the week at like dinner time and stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to stick with 10 o'clock and just do Pacific. Yeah, exactly, Heather. I live in Ohio, so it's 3 a.m. there. All right, the winner is Fairy Trees, which is also one of my favorite stories. Oh, they do? In Abbeville? Cool. Yes, Hug and Molly is a favorite. And she is an Alabama legend. And a sad story. Yes, Patricia, I would love you to tune in whenever you can. And everything is on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites, all of my live recordings, and I record all of these stories myself. And so all of these are individually recorded as well. So there's playlists for like bedtime stories and all that. Oh, really, Natalie? Cool. Which part? Thank you so much, Robin. That was cool. Thank you. I'll be right back with Fairy Trees. Yeah, thanks for being here, Patricia. I've never seen that gift before either, Justin. Oh, perfect, knock and fire. Thank you. I'm glad I can help you guys snooze. I will say one thing. I haven't lived in a high elevation in a long time. I used to live in Denver, and I forgot how much water you have to drink here. It's totally different. Like I've been so dehydrated. I've been so thirsty. Good night, James. Right, Miranda? Robin always finds the cool gifts. Oh my God, they said I was too scary. It's funny too, because kids are all so different. There's some kids that love me, and then other kids that think I'm too scary too, for sure. It just depends on the kids, but that's good. That means that your kids are still innocent. That's good. Yes, bed of dust. You're supposed to drink more water at higher elevations for a couple different reasons. First of all, it's drier, and elevation, you can get like elevation just is different on your body. It does all kinds of things. Like that's why they talk about elevation sickness and stuff, and you adjust to it. But when it comes to like water and stuff, like if you've lived there for a while, you probably just didn't notice that you started drinking more water. Do you know what I mean? Because now Taylor says that like it's just part of how she lives. But since I've been here, I've noticed I'm drinking I'm like thirsty as shit, you know? And I mentioned it to her, and she's like, yeah, when I first moved here. Yep, see, yep. And so it's one of those things where you may have not just like when you moved, you may have just not noticed it, and you may have just been drinking more water because you may have been outside more because it's very beautiful outside. You know what I mean? It might be one of those things you didn't notice, but she confirmed with me. She's like, yeah, it definitely has you drinking more water. And you just kind of, I think your body just adapts, and because you just know you're thirsty and you didn't notice, and you're just drinking more water. But I am pretty regular with my water consumption, and I know how many like water bottles I fill up a day, and I have like been doubling that, but it's good. And I will say the water here is crazy. Did you know that the water in Lake Tahoe is 99% pure naturally? I learned that today on our tour. That blows my mind. And it's because of the temperature and all these other things that when the stuff lands on it, it's like too cold for any of those microbes to live. And so nothing like, and so they will give you, like on the boat, they will give you Lake Tahoe tap, and it is the clearest water I've ever seen come out of a tap, and it tasted like heaven. And I filled my whole water bottle with it, and it's so good. I want to drink it for the rest of my life. I've never had water that tasted like this. And I'm like, wow. And the stats they gave about the lake, it could provide enough water for every person in America for 5 days, for 5 years or something. It's like fucking crazy the amount of water that's in here. It's insane. And it's the most delicious water I've ever had in my life. Yeah, Tanya, this is my first time here, and it's worth the hype. There's so many cool things about it. It's just so interesting. I know, and it's so delicious and cold. Yeah. It's just, yeah. So just FYI, I'm drinking more water, so I've been really thirsty. Yeah, Natalie, I'm going to start begging Taylor to send me bottles of Tahoe water. Freedom, that is such a compliment. Thank you so much. I really love sharing knowledge with people. It's pretty much one of my favorite things to do in life. It's my love language. And I just really think knowledge is cool and exciting. And I like sharing them because I think it helps if I can help change the way someone views something, or give them a delight in the world we live in, or notice something every day that's making it cooler, is just, that's an honor, because life is actually really cool in the smallest, weirdest ways if you actually just learn more about it. Because people in general can be really disappointing and suck, and we focus a lot on us. Do you know what I mean? And we don't focus a lot on the rest of the world, and then we think everything sucks. But like, everything doesn't suck. Humans, yeah, we kind of do. But the rest of our world is not just humans, and it's amazing. It's incredible. And we can take it in and not lose our faith in how beautiful the world is just because we've lost our faith in a lot of people. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. Miranda, not a Webby, but I use my iPad. I'm not sure what a Webby is, but I use my iPad and my Apple Pencil. I'm obsessed with my Apple Pencil. I have a paper feel screen cover on my iPad, and it makes it feel like I am drawing on paper, and it's phenomenal. And there's a couple apps I use that, like, it mimics paint, and it's amazing. Oh, it's a website. No, I haven't used that before. But I use Procreate and a few others on my iPad with my Apple Pencil, and they're amazing. I always use purple and green. I always make sure to use purple and green. Thank you, Miranda. I appreciate it. Yes, Deborah, I'm near Pyramid Lake, and we're supposed to go there on Sunday. But there's fires around, so we're not sure if we're going to be able to. And yes, Ella, you're making a lot of assumptions. Maybe you should just like not go into people's lives making assumptions about things you don't know what you're talking about, sweetheart. Yeah, and I want to, yeah, Natalie, and the portal, absolutely, I had to make it green. Yeah, there you go, Freedom. Because I just felt like it had to be green. And if you guys watch the YT version, the YT version is animated, and a little fairy comes flying up around into the frame, and then goes away and comes back. And she's really cute. And she's green too. I made sure she matched the portal. Hi, lovely. I love you. Sweet dreams. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it. Yeah, the YT version's really fun, right, Deborah? I like the fairy. She's cute. Your aunt likes this story? I'm so glad, Sherry. Thanks. I appreciate that. Welcome in, Hazy Indigo Evening. I like your screen name. Yeah, AMG. And not on the live. A lot of people misunderstand and think I mean that the live screens move. Not the live. My like pre-recorded versions of these stories that I release on Mondays, like the video versions on YT and on the Audify, those are a lot of those have animation. Like the Ash Grove one, the house catches on fire in it. Like, you know how their house burned down? I literally have the house catch on fire in it, but like I can't do that here. So I do what I can. And then people bitch about my backgrounds being AI and not my own art. And those people can fuck off. I'd hate to live in a generation where they just assumed that nobody has actual fucking talent. That would suck. Because I actually know how to draw and paint on paper too, sweetheart. I bet you don't. I bet you only know how to do art that you can erase. I know how to paint without being able to shake my iPad and make it erase my mistake. That's a real artist. Okay? I've been drawing and doing art since I got my first set of Prismacolors from Michaels when I was 12 years old. So you can fuck off, Elle. Got it? And you know what happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me, but mostly you. I also have a degree in multimedia journalism. Do you know what multimedia is? It's art. So I have a degree as a journalistic artist, which is exactly what the fuck I'm doing. Just throwing that out there. L. Thanks, Miranda. Squirrel. See, I told you. There will be signs. Also, for any of the newbies out there, if Skrilla is correct, I am a red witch. If you don't know what that means, you can give it a goog, but it does mean that I am synced with the full moon, which is also maybe not the best time to question my artistic abilities and creativity, is the night of a full moon eclipse with a red witch that is synced to these full moons. Just saying. Just throwing that one out there too. The Supreme, in fact. And Jade knows. Jade knows. I don't throw that out much, but not the one. Have you seen American Horror Story Coven? Check out the Supreme in that. See what she's like. when people make her mad. Kim, I tried, and my friend set up the most amazing thing to watch the eclipse, but it was cloudy. I'm like, damn it. Yeah, we're nice until we're not, but we're very protective over our fellow witches. And it makes us kind of scary. Hi, Jade. I didn't know you were here. Hi, Boo Boo. See, I say Jade in the Boo Boo good way. I told you I can do it both ways. Anyway, I'll be right back. And again, this is my favorite story besides Hitchhiker, and it is because I am an elemental witch, and there is a lot of misunderstandings about the elementals in the Fae world, and people are very scared of us, which I guess you could be, but also you don't have a reason to be if you're not a piece of shit, because we are justice and karma and balance, and there's nothing wrong with balance if you're good. Oh, my mic, it's a Shure mic, Shure. Her name's Shorely. Yeah, I didn't get to see it, Kim. I'm sad, but that's okay. It's okay. Not a biggie. I've seen a lot of eclipses. I got to see the full solar. I was in the path of totality of the full solar 2 years ago, and it was fucking... I've never felt so charged in my life, so that was enough for me. Plus, full moons are a time of release. The solar eclipses are really my jam, because those are just fucking power igniters. Yes, Jade, that's because it's an eclipse. It's not a normal full moon. Exactly, Natalie. Exactly, same. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the fairy trees. Thank you, Cool Ranch. I love Cool Ranch. Also, Jade, who? I'm sorry, who? I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who you're talking about. Yes, your tower moment is complete, and I don't even know who that is, Jade. So I certainly don't give a shit that it's his birthday tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that person. There are some places in the world where people will move mountains to build a road. And then there are places where people will move the road to avoid a single tree. Not because of engineering, not because of convenience, but because of something older. Hello, Adam. This is Nonsensical Strangeness. Welcome. Something whispered about for centuries. Something living between folklore and fear. The belief that some trees are not just trees. They are homes, doorways. That's right, Jade. That's right. Places where the unseen world touches our own. For centuries across the forests and fields of Ireland, Scotland, England, and even parts of Appalachia, people have believed that some trees are not simply trees. They are something more. They are places where the human world touches something unseen, and they are known as fairy trees. Living doorways that connect our world to hidden realms beyond our own. Today, many people pass these trees without a second thought. They see twisted branches, ancient trunks, and strange shapes created by centuries of wind and weather. But for generations before us, those same trees were treated with reverence and respect, and sometimes even fear. Because according to old folklore, these trees belonged to the beings that lived just beyond human sight. The stories of fairy trees began centuries ago, at a time when people lived much closer to the natural world than we do now. Thank you, Bobby. That's an incredible compliment. That's a lovely compliment. Thank you. They believed that the world was filled with unseen forces. Rivers had spirits, mountains had personalities, and storms had moods. And certain places were sacred. And forests were not simply collections of trees. They were places where the boundary between the known and the unknown became thin. Across Ireland and Scotland, people spoke of a hidden realm that existed alongside our own. A mysterious world inhabited by beings called the fair folk, or the Fae. But these were not tiny, cheerful fairy creatures of modern children's stories. Hi, Misty Day. The Fae of ancient tradition were powerful elemental entities. The fair folk were called fair for a reason. They were viewed as the keepers of natural balance, the primordial form of justice. I love you too, Jade. And they became angered when humans disrespected the natural world. And among the places where these beings were believed to gather were certain unusual trees. Thank you, Sherry, for helping answer questions. Sometimes it would be hundreds of years old with branches twisted into strange shapes. And people wondered why. Why had this one tree survived when everything around it had changed? Thank you, Amy. I am the book. Thank you, Skrill. Why did storms not destroy it? Why did generations of people continue to leave it standing? The answer, according to folklore, was that that tree was protected. It was a home, a meeting place, a doorway, and it belonged to the fairies. Farmers would carefully plow around these trees rather than cut them down. Roads were redirected to avoid them, and some of these special trees even developed a reputation for being portals. Oh, there's the twins. They're upstairs. They're upstairs in the other room. Casey and Carrie are here. The twins from the cave. According to folklore, certain trees could act as doorways between the worlds. Hollow trees, twisted trees, trees with what appeared to have a doorway. Stories developed about people who entered these strange openings and experienced impossible things. Thanks, Sandy. Stories of people who disappeared for what seemed like only minutes. We had double trouble, only to discover that hours, days, and even years had passed. Thank you for the puppy, Sandy. The idea of lost time is one of the most common themes in fairy folklore. The belief was that the fairy realm did not follow the same rules as our world and that time behaved differently there. But perhaps one of the most fascinating traditions surrounding portal trees was their connection to healing. For centuries, people across parts of Britain, Europe, and Appalachia believed that certain trees had the power to remove illness. One old practice involved passing a sick child through the opening or split in a tree. The belief was that the sickness would be left behind inside the tree, while the child would emerge healed. The tree became a bridge between sickness and health, between the old ways and the new. Of all the warnings surrounding fairy trees, one became the most well-known. Never cut one down. Respect the trees. Respect the land. Respect the mysteries you do not understand. But fairy trees are not just a tradition from the distant past. Thank you, Misty Day. That's so cute. They still exist today. Travel through parts of Ireland, Scotland, and Appalachia, and you will still find trees decorated with ribbons, coins, flowers, and small offerings. People still visit them. Thank you, Iceman. Some leave wishes, some leave gifts, some simply stand beneath their branches and appreciate the history surrounding them. A reminder that the world is older and stranger than we often remember. Across Ireland and parts of Scotland, certain lone hawthorn trees became surrounded by stories of fair folk. And not the cute, harmless creatures from children's fairy tales. The older legends described something much more complicated. The fairies were powerful, capable of blessing a person or ruining their life. They were not creatures you invited in. They were beings that you respected. And above all else, you did not disturb their homes. That belief became so deeply rooted that farmers avoid cutting certain trees even when the tree stands alone in the middle of valuable farmland. People will plow around them. They would leave them untouched for generations, because removing them was believed to invite disaster, a sick child, a failed harvest, a streak of terrible luck. But what fascinated me the most wasn't just the older stories. It was how they collided with our modern world. Because even today, roads are built around these special trees. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Monique. Construction projects are rerouted. Machines are stopped. Plans are completely redesigned. All because someone looked at a single tree and decided, no, we're not cutting that one down. I love that, Patricia. Perhaps the mystery of fairy trees was never only about whether supernatural beings truly live among the branches. Perhaps the deeper mystery is why humans across so many cultures have always looked at certain trees and felt that they were special. Maybe it's because an ancient tree is already something magical. It can stand for hundreds of years. It can survive storms that destroy everything around it. It can grow from a tiny seed into something that outlives countless generations. It witnesses births, deaths, wars, celebrations, and little forgotten moments in history. A tree can remember a world that no human alive today has ever seen. And trees are, in fact, vital to the survival of the human race. So maybe that's why in ancient times, they were revered. And maybe that's why some of us still believe that trees are doorways. Because standing beneath the branches of an ancient tree, feeling the vibration of the earth and the breeze on your skin, it's easy to imagine that there is more in this world than just what we can see with our eyes. That somewhere beyond the roots and the leaves, hidden just beyond the edge of our human understanding, there may still be places where the old stories are waiting. Places where the boundary between worlds grows thin. And perhaps, somewhere deep in the woods near you, there are still trees that are not just trees. Reminders that the world still holds mysteries that we have yet to uncover. And that's the tale of the fairy trees. Which is also why if you've joined my Witchy Wednesday daytime lives, you will see me almost every single live pretty much hugging, wallowing, laying, cuddling, oogling trees. Thank you, Sherry. Skrilla. Yeah, you are. You're a redwood. Jade said Bible. What do you mean, what the hell? I already told you all about that. I already told you all about that song. Don't act like you don't know that song. Justin. Anna, they've done a lot worse things to trees than that. It's not a huge offense. Do I think it's great? No, but do I think it's horrifying? No. It's a Taylor Swift reference, guys. It's a Taylor Swift song about her boyfriend's beautiful dick, okay? Okay? Trees are majestic, Patricia. Thank you. Yes. Oh, you will respect them and notice them more. Bobby, I'm so glad because they really are just amazing. And you want to know something else cool? Trees connect their roots through a network underneath the ground, okay? And when one tree is hurt or didn't get enough water or sun, they will share through their root system to keep the other trees that are around them alive as long as possible. Does it always work? And do trees obviously die around each other? Yeah. But they literally will help each other stay alive. It's the cutest. They're just amazing. I really do implore you guys to look up trees more because they are incredible. And yeah. And like I said, if you become friends with them, you've heard that? Yeah, it's really cool, Bobby. They do so many cool things. And if you become friends with them, then if you have a neighbor, this is just a hypothetical example, but if you have a neighbor that maybe poisoned the raccoons that you were feeding for 6 years in your yard, you could tell the trees, and then they have root systems that go underneath and wrap around everyone's plumbing in the whole world. So, then your tree could maybe just make its roots bust somebody's plumbing if you were friends with them and you told them that he was killing animals. That's just hypothetical though. But trees are awesome and they will be your friend. Yeah, Cade, we're in the elevation. And photosynthesis, I know. They're incredible. And hey, they give us our air. What the fuck? I feel like we forget about that. We can listen and hug the Tao trees tomorrow. Yay, Taylor's in here. Yes. Taylor, I was just gushing about you the whole time about how much fun we had today. But yes, we just read the fairy tree story, Taylor, and I was telling them about how much I love trees. So I definitely encourage you guys to give them another looky-loo. And there's a reason why they call them tree huggers. It's because, literally, try it. They lower your blood pressure, okay? Grounding by hugging a tree or putting your feet on the earth literally lowers your blood pressure. It helps your nervous system. It recalibrates your vibration to attune with the earth. And here's a fun fact. The Schumann resonance, which is the vibration of the earth, vibrates at the same hertz as the alpha brainwaves, which are the brainwaves that we get to in a meditative state. So that means the earth can naturally reset you to a meditative frequency whenever you want it to. The fuck? So take advantage of that. Go hug a tree. Go touch your feet in the ground. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's only a 7-hour drive from Portland. That can't be possible, Jade. That can't be possible. Cade? Not really. It's about the same, I would say. True. Yep, Skrilla. It's 100%. Nothing beats a siesta under a tree. Plus, trees are the best shade. You're outside right now? Oh, look, guys, it's Slappy. Hi, Slappy. You're outside right now. Are you enjoying yourself? I'm in Lake Tahoe right now, Slappy, and I'm loving the trees. And I'm on Pacific time. Oh, you are on Pacific time all the time? You live above Portland? I didn't know that, Slappy. But Jade, Slappy lives near you. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Slappy from Goosebumps. Yep, it's him. Follow him. He's hilarious and very talented. Very, very talented voice actor. Scroll. So yes, I'm really glad you guys liked the tree story. That's one of my favorites. And I wasn't sure if they were, I was like, are they going to like a tree story? But you guys do. Your voice is shot. That happens to me a lot, Slappy, especially in Wednesdays. Usually when I go live twice in one day, I lose my voice by the end of the live. Thanks, Jade. All right, you guys, it is time for the grilled cheese. It's my bedtime. We have a big day tomorrow. We're hiking all over Tahoe. Right, Taylor? Is she still in here? We're hiking, doing the hike. Yeah, that's what he just said. Dragmas, he's in here right now, and he just said that he lost his voice earlier. Why are you recommended a little local honey in your tea at night? Why? Because local honey has pollen, like it's created by the local bees, which they use the local plants in your area to pollinate and make the honey. So basically, it helps you become immune to your local allergens. It's natural. It's the natural way. People back in the day didn't have the allergies we have now because they ate honey from bees that were pollinating their local pollen creators, and they became immune to their area's allergens. And so that's why they tell you to have local honey specifically. It's so important because that will be made by bees that pollinate your area. Yes, Taylor, there's a fire extinguisher on the porch because I'm a responsible person, and look at those fire pits next to a hammock. Are we crazy? Safety first. That's right. That's right. Fire pits on a covered porch with a hammock. We gotta be careful. Don't want my porch pals to get burned. Plus, the goat man got his hooves tangled in a hammock one night, and he singed his butt fur. And that's when we added it. It was a house fire. Oh, thank goodness. Phew. I mean, not for those people, but I'm glad it wasn't like a forest fire. Thank goodness. That's a relief. Thanks for updating me. By the way, I saw you finished your thing. I'm proud of you, Taylor. Good job. Good job. All right, you guys. And yes, we had the best day. Everything just like kept working out for us so well. It was almost like we're two amazingly powerful supreme red witches who met up for the first time in like 6 years, who totally have a deep love for each other. And the universe was like, fucking finally. And just everything that we wanted to happen fell into place today perfectly. It was like the best thing. It was like the universe was just like giving us a yellow brick road the whole day. It's like the best. We had so much fun. Like the icing on the cake, Taylor, was when we walked into the wine bar and the little private box. They're like, here you go. I'm like, okay, thank you. You have a Concord tree? Oh shit, Millsy, really? Cool. Those are cool trees. Oh my God, Kim, your dog passed away today? Taylor, I told them you made me feel like a queen. You're so cute. I'm so sorry, Kim. My God, that is a major loss, and I'm so sorry. Let yourself grieve. Don't let anybody act like it's just an animal. That is an archaic way to think about things, and I can't stand when people are like, you can take years to get over it if you want, Kim. Okay? Don't ever let somebody make you feel like it's just an animal, because that's not true. I still miss Alfie all the time, and I cry about it sometimes still. And I still miss Ansel sometimes, and I cry about it. They were basically my children. So do not let people minimize your grief over your pets. I can't stand it when people do that. Oh, it's just a dog. Go get a new one. Fuck off. Yep, exactly. Yep. And I don't have children, so guess what? Those little furry sweet boys were the closest thing my maternal clock and my woman heart knows as I raised, right? So I don't care what people say. Don't ever let them make you feel like it's a pain forever. So I'm so sorry. And you have every right to be super sad and let yourself grieve, and don't be like trying to be stoic or embarrassed or like it's just an animal. That is not true. And I just want you to know that. The wise owl, you know what? They call me the spooky Delilah. And that is such an honor because she's an American treasure. And it is really, right, Gigi? It's really not nice. And a lot of people do that. They're like, oh, well, like, it's not that. I'm like, dude, like my cat, Alfie, died in my arms at midnight in the emergency vet hospital. And I had to go to work the next day and co-host with Tom Green for 6 hours. And my bosses were like, what's the big deal? There's a cat. And guess what I did? I quit my fucking job. Sure did. Sure did. Had a bit of a breakdown and was like, because my sister had literally died the month before. And then the person who was supposed to cat sit my cat, who was diabetic, I came back from my sister's funeral and they had forgotten to visit my cat who was diabetic, and he hadn't had water for 3 days and he was basically dead on the floor. Then I had to deal with that right after my sister died. And then they told me, what's the big deal? And I lost it. I was like, I'll show you what the big deal is. I'll burn this place to the fucking ground. Not really, but I was like, that's it. That's enough for me. I'm done with TV. What's the big deal? Our show is fucking whack. And it's not worth, like, you know what I mean? No, the stuff we were making worth my life. Like these things that are so important to me. I don't think so. Goodbye. No, I don't do true crime, Casey. Sorry. Yeah. And you know what? They gave me 3 bereavement days. And then they said, it's not like it was your spouse. That's what they said to me. 3 days, which means I had to fly to Michigan from Colorado. That's 1 day. Go to the funeral. That's 1 day. And then go home the next day. And they said, it's not like it was your spouse. I said, yeah. It was only my sister, you know, like who taught me how to ride a bike. Like, totally not a big deal. My fucking sister. I'm sorry, but your spouse didn't know you your whole fucking life. What? My spouse didn't know me when I was potty training and pissed my bed every night as a kid, but she did. Right? Yeah. And when they looked at me and said that, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to have to resign. Yeah, you're right. She's not my spouse. And fuck off. And I hope yours leaves you. They really did that. Yep. And that's actually what made Devin quit being a reporter, is her sister died and they were fucked up about it. And I said, that's enough. Because my sister died at 41 and didn't do half the shit she wanted to. And I was like, I'm not going to waste my life at a job that treats me like this. And guess what? Now I just turned 40 this year and I am doing something that I love. And my sister would be so fucking proud of me right now. So some good came out of it because she is the reason I chose my own happiness and left. Thanks, Rachel. It was the worst year of my life. It was really, really bad. Well, and what's crazy is I moved there after Hurricane Harvey because I was traumatized by Hurricane Harvey. And then it proceeded to be the worst year. So those 2 years were really, really bad. Really, Kate? You didn't know how old I was? Yeah. I'm actually 700. So I'm a witch. We don't age. Oh, thanks, Skrilla. I appreciate that. I also quit smoking cold turkey the day my sister died, too. Because she died of a COPD and a class action suit on the inhaler company that failed her. Kate, I don't know if you've ever seen the Age of Adeline movie. Have you ever seen that movie? If you haven't, look it up. I actually move every 10 years because I don't age. And I have to hide it from people. Yeah, flip-flop, because it was a class action lawsuit against the inhaler company. They didn't work. They sent out batches of faulty inhalers, and my sister was unfortunately one of them, and they found her on her couch with her inhaler in her hand. And guess what? That inhaler company still makes inhalers. They got a slap on the wrist fine, and thousands of Americans died, and they just got to pay a fine that meant nothing to them, and they still make them. Oh, good job, Melly, but also good luck. Because those companies are too big to fail. They don't care about human. They're just allowed to pay fines that are a penny to them in the grand scheme of things, and they just keep going. Like Johnson & Johnson and the baby powder, what they did to women across the entire country and world for 50 years. Yep. That's what corporate insurance is for. That's so funny. You said, how about $150? Yep. Yay, late stage capitalism. Yeah, and yep, that's the worst part, Sherry, is Johnson & Johnson knew about it. That's the worst part. And that's the thing, Sherry, is most of them do. Most of these companies know. But Johnson & Johnson hid and burned records of them knowing that it caused cancer in women, and they still promoted it as women care products, and they got caught. And then guess what? They're still making all of our fucking shit we use. Look at the back of half your supply. They're still Johnson. It didn't matter. They got away with. They get to do that. Doesn't fucking matter. They killed your sister. See, Deborah? Yep. They killed my mom's best friend. Numerous women in my mom's generation died from that. And they just are still making products for us that we're supposed to trust to put on our bodies. And then in 30 years, what? We're all going to be dead? They're going to be like, sorry, and pay another fine. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Anyway, enough about the injustices in the world. It's time to go to the Sycamore Diner. Rose, I'm not sure what that is, but I hope it works. Hi, bud. How are you doing? That's why you take nature walks? I love that, Katie. That's exactly it, Melly. Because that's the whole point of capitalism, is capital is literally what gets everything. So you can literally buy your way into or out of anything in capitalism. There is no real morality. It's all about capital. There is no morality in it. And that's why it sucks. Yes, we're going to Truckee on Sunday. All right, guys. Get ready for the Sycamore Diner. I'll be right back. Ooh, really, Cade? Oh my God, I need to check that out. Thanks for letting me know that. I'm going to look for that. I love that kind of stuff. Thank you, Sherry. And And yes, for anybody curious on why I am up so late, I saw a couple of people asking. I am on West Coast time this week. I'm visiting my best friend in Tahoe, and it's only 12:45 here. So I'm on my normal hours, but just Pacific Coast, because I have to do her, like, I have to be on the schedule of this time zone while I'm here. So it made just sense to stick with the 10 o'clock and keep my sleep pattern the same. So when I go back, it'll kind of be the same transition, Be right back. Jade, you're so cute. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate it so much. Cade, you probably also thought I was younger because, where is Justin? You probably also thought I was younger because I don't have kids. And so I feel like I'm stayed very young at heart and my personality. When you have kids, you become the parent and you kind of get really serious and you know what I mean? It kind of changes your demeanor and your outlook on life, and you're a lot more stressed out because you're worried all the time about keeping your adorable kid alive. Do you know what I mean? It changes people in a way that makes them more, and I wouldn't even say serious because I can be very serious, but it just changes I don't know, the way they carry themselves or something. So I think that is also why I come off young to people, is because I am not a parent. And I still feel very young because I still get to do all of the things I could do when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? It hasn't limited my life. Yeah, exactly, Kane. Yep, pretty much. But that's because I haven't done a lot of the things that people at the point of my age have. So that stereotype of that age, I found all of my friends that don't have, guess what? All three of the other women I have here with me for my birthday celebration this week are all older than me by about 5 years probably, and they don't have children, and they are just like me. And my friends who have kids are already talking about their aches and oh, I'm too old to do that. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're too old to go hike up a mountain? How? And it's it really does take stuff out of you. It takes a lot of your energy and stuff like that. And so I think that is also a reason, is because lifestyle choices do affect your longevity and your amount of energy you have when you get older and stuff like that, Yes, Natalie. Exactly, biker trash. And that's what a lot of people I know unfortunately do. And I'm like, you don't have to stop living just because but that it's very demanding, and I get it. People only have so much energy in a day. Oh, okay, hold on, Scarlett, I'll do it. Justin, right? I forget to eat. So I think we're good. Skrilla. Not the hot Cheetos. For sure, Tanya. And that's why I say it like depends on the choices people have made in their life. So like not every person at a certain age presents the same way because everybody's life choices are different. Like I have a friend who was a professional athlete and you would think she's 20 years older because her body, the choices she made in life, her body's like very worn out, you know what I mean, for her age. So you would see her and not think she's her age either. So I was just saying that people's life choices, I think, govern the way they present themselves much more than their actual number age. Because I think people's life choices vary a lot more now than they used to when everybody did the same exact thing 50 years ago. Now there's a lot more people who are choosing different life paths. And so I don't think the stereotypical ages are presenting the same as they used to. Do you know what I mean? So I think, that's, it just like, it depends. So like if wore your body out a lot as a pro athlete, you know what I mean? You might seem way older. And then we have people who, so I think it just, there's more variety now in what the average like 40-year-old used to seem like. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that plays a part in it. But I absolutely was not saying that choosing having energy over kids. Definitely not. Definitely not. And I think those of you who are mothers, it's a hard-ass job. And I admire it greatly. And somebody's got to do it, So... and there are women who they're called to do that. My sister's one of them. My sister wanted to be a mom her whole life. And so they're definitely like, you know what I mean? Yeah, pretty much. Biker trash. Yeah. All right, guys, sit back and get ready. Justin. That's so cute, Tanya. I love that. And they'll love that too. I wish the kids now had an Are You Afraid of the Dark, Yes, Kate, I am the cool aunt. Absolutely. And it's funny because my brother was a lot older than me. So my nephews were like, I was at that weird age gap where like their friends thought I was like, your aunt's hot. And it was very weird. It's always been very weird for me because I'm a very weird aged gap from my siblings. So it's like, yeah, it's always just been weird because my brother is 14 years older than me. Yeah, Jade, oh my God, I wish. That's such a compliment. Los Espookios. Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's so sweet of you. Not as hot as I used to be, though, girl. I used to be a lot hotter. I love how now you called him my ex. You could call him AC in that situation, Jade. Natalie, in terms of your question about, grown kids, I heard that too. I have absolutely heard that about, my sister said the same thing. Well, and that's because a lot of people, I hate to say this, not everybody, but a lot of people, the way our culture was set up, men expected their wives to just be like their mothers or like domestic servants. And so they drain your energy just as much because they're just another giant child, is from what I've heard a lot of people. Obviously, that is not always the case. My best friend Chelsea, her husband's amazing, and he's not like that at all. So I'm not saying they all are, but I'm saying in your instance, I imagine that is probably the situation you were living with, if you were constantly drained by that. But I'm glad you're happy now. So glad you're happy now. Jade, be careful, please. Okay? Because we've discussed love bombing before, right? As someone who endlessly attracts love bombers, have you not learned from the things I've showed you that happened to me? Please be careful, Jade. Sin, I'll tell you what too. I stopped drinking alcohol, I'm not sober or anything, but I stopped drinking basically a long time ago. And I'll tell you that also does help with how you feel and how you look. I didn't say bummer, Skrilla. I said bomber. Biker trash, it's too long for me to explain. So just give it a Goog and look up the definition. You'll totally know what it means. You'll get it. It's just so hard it's too much for me to get into right now. It is like, plus I don't want to attract those people into the live by talking about it. They're like, you'll get it. You'll know exactly what it means when you look up the definition. Oh yeah, maybe Skrilla, you're right. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Yeah, love bomb yourself. That's exactly right, Cade. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Love bomb yourself. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. Sin, that's okay. We can help you do that. The first step is literally being like, I need to get my shit together. And you know what? I did that several years ago and it's been amazing. So we're here for you. We're proud for you. We're cheering for you. And you can do it, girl. You can do it whenever the hell you want. I mean that. I literally quit my career and was like at the worst low ever and like was like, I need to get my fucking life. And I just started getting my life together now. I mean it. You don't always have to know what you're doing, and you can start over and you can like hit bottom and then be like, let's regroup and just fucking redo this shit. Like life is not like a map. It's not like they show you in the movies. It is weird and confusing and all over the place, and the journey's not always just a smooth trip. So I'm proud of you for being willing to get your life together and grow and change, because people who are willing to grow, that alone makes you above most people, you know? So anyway, sorry to interrupt. I just really felt like you needed to hear that. Yeah, life is confusing, and we're here for you, and you can figure it out. Take your time to figure it out. You know, and sometimes what's crazy is the worst shit that will happen to you, trust me, will end up being the stuff that makes you like the happiest and best person you've ever been. I know that doesn't make any sense, but like some of the worst shit that's ever happened to me, I look back now and I'm like, damn, the universe was protecting me, weren't they? Holy shit. Like you might not see it, but it'll show up and you'll be like, damn, I dodged a lot of bullets, because you know what I mean? So just keep your head up. I promise. It's going to be fine. Hi, Rochelle. Like, you could literally think your life is over and a year later be like, holy shit. Like, your life can change so much in a year. I promise. And it can change so in good ways, not just the bad ways. Ask Jade. She met my bitch ass a year ago, and I am nothing but deal the raw truth. And I told her a bunch of shit she didn't really want to hear, but what did she do? She listened to me, and she was like, you know what? Yeah. And this bitch fucking changed her life, herself, in a year. Didn't you, Jade? Didn't you, Jade? In just this last year. And now her life is completely different. Yep. Look at that. 2 months ago, she ended things with a C. And now her whole life is different. It could only take 2 months. Doesn't even have to be a year. 2 months. Took her a year to get up the courage to do it. But then she did it, and her life changed in 2 months. So you can do it, Sin. And she was like very down on herself, and now she's feeling good, as she should, in my neighborhood. God, I'm so annoying. I do got a lot of ideas. Funny fact, I once had a friend who was in an abusive relationship. That's not the funny part, and luckily she's not with him anymore. But he literally said that to her once. He said he didn't want her hanging out with me anymore because I just had all kinds of ideas. Like, what? And I told her, I said, you know, that means he's telling you you're dumb, right? That means he likes you because you're dumb. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, girl, what? I was like, I can't, like, what does that even mean? You're that friend? Yeah. I was like, I have a lot. Yep. And he ended up being an abuser, and I had to drive in the middle of the night, an hour and a half to rescue her. And I still did it. And I was like, I guess this is why you don't like me, asshole. Here's my baseball bat. Hand her over, thanks. But yeah, I have all kinds of ideas. And if a man doesn't like someone that has all kinds of ideas, you know what that means? He likes someone that has no ideas. And that's weird. Yeah, Skrilla, same thing. Pretty much. I've showed up 2 places with a bat. One time it wasn't needed because he wasn't there, and I also brought those giant black lawn trash bags, and we cleared out all her shit in 5 minutes and out of that apartment and trash bags into the back of my SUV. So, yep, exactly, Finn. But I didn't need the baseball bat that time. The other time, I just showed the baseball bat, and then he let her get in my car. I didn't even have to like approach him. I just stood there by my car with it. And I was like, you gonna let her come out? And it was like 3 a.m. And he was like, and he's like, just get your ass, go. And I was like, thank you. Kate said, I love ideas. Yeah, I love that too. Yeah. And it's like, if it's that fragile, Rose, if your relationship was that fragile where her best friend left her husband, and so she's like, I'm going to leave mine, then either you married a really weak person or your relationship was really weak, you know? Yeah, Melly, golf. But see, golf clubs are hard to control. They're real long and swingy and have a big heavy thing on the end. Baseball bat is steady, and I also was a designated hitter for my softball team. So I've got, I don't know if you know anything about girls with big hips and being able to hit balls, but like, it's a thing. If you look at any of the women that can slam a fucking baseball or something, they all have huge hips. I don't really know why that's a thing, but it's a thing. Kate, no. I actually don't even hurt bugs. I'm not a violent person. I just can talk a lot of shit. I can seem very intimidating because I'm intelligent and confident, and that's scary enough that I don't really have to back it up. Does that make sense? I've gotten out of the car before and told a girl, like, you have a problem in a Taco Bell drive-thru, and they drove away when I wouldn't have done shit. I would have gotten back in my car and zoomed away. But people don't, if you just act crazy, people will be scared. Yeah. You just have to act like you have nothing to lose. You don't really usually have to back that up. You know? Just act like you're a major bitch. And they're like, oh shit, never mind. I don't want to deal with that. Patricia, were you a designated hitter in softball? Your husband's friend says that about you? That's weird. But flip-flop, that's the thing is a crazy person acting normal. But see, I am a crazy person acting normal. And then I just show it when there's an injustice. I'm like, all right, I'm flipping that switch back on. Because I feel like most people, if you grew up if you kind of had a hard younger life, you kind of become gentle and softer, but then because you choose peace for yourself, right? You choose not to have pain and sorrow all the time, right? But then there's still that side of you that's like, oh fuck no, I've been waiting for you, I wish you would, right? So that's the thing, is it's not something that, you know what I mean? I can act scary when I want to, but it's not something I want to do. I'm not going around provoking people like an asshole. I'm not going around trying to fight people. That's the last thing I fucking want. But I'm also not a weak bitch, and I'm not going to take shit. Do you know what I mean? There's a line. It's called having grace. It's called, because that's, you're scared of horror. Sin, this isn't really horror. This is just spooky. I don't like horror either. I don't like gore or horror, especially if it has to do with humans. Exactly, Rachel. It's something we pull out when necessary. Yep. And that's the thing is, because people mistake kindness for weakness. And I'm like, listen, I am so nice, but listen, don't take advantage. Don't. Especially because I have big boobs and I'm very bubbly and nice. And I do have a baby face, so people think I'm dumb. And I'm like, oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, Tanya, exactly. Yep, I'm nice until I'm not. That's such a Southern saying. Biker Trash, are you Southern? Because that is what we say in North Carolina. I'm nice until I'm not. The Warrens, as in Edward and Lorraine. You've heard it enough, yeah. Well, and that's the best part, Patricia, about being a baby-faced woman with big boobs is we are underestimated more than not. Oh, yeah, Kate, it's the worst. I'm like, listen, just because I'm nice doesn't mean I'm intimidated by you or scared, but I'm being nice because it's more relaxing for me. And I'm just genuinely a kind person, but I can be that way if you make me. But then afterwards I'm like, damn, that was annoying and exhausting. You know, I didn't really, how annoying. You made me do it. You know what I mean? It's almost like, well, didn't want to have to do that, but because I also feel like it's a justice thing. And I feel like people need to be shamed and embarrassed more for being horrible people. There needs to be repercussions in social settings where we don't just accept them. At work and stuff like that, yeah, no discriminating. But in social settings, yeah, we don't have to put up with fuckers. Do you know what I mean? And bring back that shit. I'm sorry, I'll embarrass the shit out of you so you don't belong here then. If you're gonna be rude, that's just not the way. And I feel like maybe if they come in and they feel embarrassed, they'll never do that again. Probably not, but I like to think that that would maybe be the case. That's a great one. I'm not the hero you wanted, but I'm the monster you needed. That's exactly right. Sometimes I'm the monster they need. And what's funny is, have you guys noticed that almost all of the responses are either, there's very rarely people like Hannah. There's usually either people that apologize or there are people who just never respond again because they have nothing to say back. They're very rarely the people that like go crazy like that Hannah bitch. Oh yeah, hi Wonder Woman, yes. Welcome, fall asleep. Yeah, Patricia, I love that so much. You're so funny. But yeah, I just feel like you know, bring back repercussions for being a fucking piece of shit. Social repercussions. Because a lot of people, like, you know, are just like, oh, well, it's no. She was yikes. Oh, yikes. Yikes. All right, back to the story. We'll start over. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Good night, Jade. Love ya. Jade, are you driving from Portland? Text me, please. Oh no, biker trash. I don't think punching the face works either because that just makes people mad and then they don't really learn the lesson because they just are like, whatever is released when you're in pain and you get hurt and attacked, it just clouds actually like judgment and like learning the lesson. The lesson needs to be done through social, like you know how they used to like shun people from society, or they used to like, what is it? They used to kick people out of the village. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's like, violence isn't actually effective. We've seen it a million times in wars. Violence doesn't really work. It needs to be like not being friends with those people, like shaming. You know what I mean? Yep. Good night, Lady Rose. I love you. Yes, exile. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yep. Because that's what affects people. Care so much about what other people think. No one will admit it, but most of us in this whole world, the whole reason people do anything, their motivation is because of what other people are doing or what other people would think about them. So the only way to get these fuckers to change is to literally judge them and make them feel embarrassed and about being bad, rude people to other people, for them to stop it. Because if people stop and like every time they do it, fuck off, get out of here, fuck off, get out of here, they wouldn't keep doing it. It's the people that giggle and laugh and accept it that have continued. If we all just told them to fuck off, then they wouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? Eventually, it would stop because they'd have no friends and no one to talk to or go hang out with or be around, and their family wouldn't talk to them anymore. And you know what I mean? Like, that's the key. So when those people come into my life, I feel like that's my opportunity. Because I bet a lot of people in their lives don't say shit. So I'm like, I will. You're an asshole. Don't do this to another person. Bye. All right, the night shift. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. Ooh, really? It looked like a firefly. It was late October and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through, 5 hours, no stops. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wiper sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit, trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. Thank you, Rachel. And that's when I saw the neon sign, SYCAMRE Diner. The O in Sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years, but the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon. A tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made this sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Justin. The air inside was warm, almost too warm. And it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. Checkerboard floor, red vinyl booths, a long counter with spinning stools. Even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people, they all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet, like they weren't expecting me. Like I'd walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall, with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth. The vinyl creaked. And I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around and everyone looked normal, sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. But they all had the same look in their eyes, like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee, strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries, simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window and the storm was still going, but now the wind had picked up. And I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. But the diner stayed perfectly lit, not even a flicker. The food came fast, too fast, like under 5 minutes. But it looked amazing. golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. Thanks, Holly. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners, greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once, and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. What? I blinked, but he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over, collecting his empty mug. Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff. Just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab my check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered, just once and then again. And then everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped. Like someone hit pause on the entire scene. I took a step back, and the jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. Thank you, Misty. Thank you, Rachel. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm, a voice, not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest, and I turned the knob. Locked, of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting. There was no one outside, just wind and rain, and that flickering red sign. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, and everyone was gone. Not frozen anymore, just gone. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate. Still warm, and still half eaten. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors. Her silhouette was backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless, like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. "Not yet." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in. She raised a hand, and the walls began to shimmer, literally shimmer, like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled, and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows and then nothing. The spooky Waffle House waitress. I love that. And then I saw it underneath the illusion. It was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot. like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. One second I was inside, and the next, I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, pulled up with the ceiling missing, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign, no glowing windows, just nothing. Thank you, Miles. Thanks, Sherry. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No 2 Chainz, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone, not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site, and I found it. It burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight and everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article. The same checkerboard floor. Same red booths. Same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best ham grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Holly, oh my God. Holly, I've never seen that. Fiji Island. And thank you, Brandy, for the cozy cryptids. Holly, that was so cool. Thank you. And thank you guys for spending your Thursday evening with me. I love you guys so much. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. Thank you, finding my joy. I hope you feel better. Welcome to the porch. I'm here every single night. This week I will be on at 10. Good night, Robin. I will be on at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but my usual time is 10 p.m. Eastern. I am, however, in Lake Tahoe for the week. So, Kate, you too. Thanks. So I'll be on later this week. Michelle, thank you. Yeah, everybody loves that. It's everybody's favorite. Thanks, David. All right, you guys. And yes, Biker, me too. And I will be back again tomorrow, you guys. I love you. And I hope you guys get some great sleep. If you can't fall asleep, head on over to my YT channel. There's a bedtime stories playlist where you can listen to all of these stories. You can hit shuffle or fall asleep. Oh, Michelle, I'm so glad. Don't be sorry. I love you too, and I'm so glad you're back. It's nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And don't forget, stay spooky. Oh my God, bed of dust. I made you fall asleep in your car. Hopefully you were parked, right? In your driveway. Oh my God, I love that. You need to go to bed. Thanks, Bobby. Good night, Skrilla.